Hey, what up? And welcome to episode 3 of this Pastor Stack podcast. I'm having a really good time sharing with you and having these conversations with you. This has been a fun podcast so far. My father, he'll be coming on eventually. I've been telling him about it, so he can't wait to get in on this. We get a little double stack going. So let's go ahead and delve into this next episode. Every episode I talk about what's on my mind, what's on my heart, and what's in my soul, and basically in that order. So, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and let's just keep the community growing. Tell somebody that knows somebody to tell somebody. All right, here we go. First up, what's on my mind? I want to let all of you know, look at me. There's nothing wrong with getting counseling. There's nothing wrong with going to therapy. I want us to take the stigma out of feeling bad or guilty or shameful for going to counseling or getting therapy. A lot of us can benefit from going to counseling. And I say us because I've gone to counseling and therapy myself. And I admit that as a pastor because, once again, I'm trying to take the stigma out of getting some outside help from some professionals when you're trying to navigate some difficult periods of your life. That's fine. So as a Christian, I believe in prayer and I believe in therapy. I believe in seeking God's face, and I believe in seeking wise counsel from those that have wise counsel to give, a listening ear, a professional perspective that they can give to help us navigate and with our healing. So I'm recommending this because I don't want to see you going viral in a McDonald's because you lost your cool. And it's not even about the fries. We all know this. We see the videos. They're in McDonald's. They're at a stoplight. They have a person that has completely lost their cool. And you're like, well, what's going on? What could cause them to be causing so much havoc? Oh, they didn't put cheese on their Big Mac. Nah, it ain't about the cheese. You need some therapy. You need some help, and that's okay. We all go through periods where we need some help. We need some people that can help us adjust to the various things that we are dealing with in our life. And let me also add this. Social media is not therapy. Because I think a lot of us are trying to use social media as our therapy. We go on to social media and see this is the way the algorithm works. You're upset about how somebody treated you. So you go on social media to kill some time, take your mind off of it, and you see a video and it's telling you, hey, you can't trust people and people are always out for themselves. And because you're in that mindset at that time, you're going to say, yeah, you know what, that is right. You might even be inclined to even press the like button or the heart button, depending on what social media you're looking at. And you know what that's going to do? That's going to tell the algorithm to send you more content of people talking about how you can't trust people and people are always out for themselves. And that algorithm is going to begin to feed you that perspective, which is going to then solidify that perspective in your mind. So social media is not therapy. When you go to social media and you're upset, it would just solidify a mindset. If you're having relationship issues, you go on social media, it's going to show you stuff where they are agreeing with whatever mindset that you have. But the reason you go to therapy is because it's not going to just feed you any particular mindset. It's going to help you delve into places of wholeness and healing. So just be mindful. Just be mindful of the things you like, because a lot of our social media feeds right now are just feeding us the constant message of whatever it is we agree with at the time, but that's not necessarily saying that it's giving us the proper message for healing and navigating. Because I'm telling you, I don't want you going viral because you snapped, because you had as much as you could take and you couldn't take anymore. So if you are struggling and dealing with some things, it's okay. If you have a pastor, see if you can talk to your pastor. If you have, wise people in your life, then see if you can lean on those wise people. And if counseling and therapy is something that you can adjust or afford or whatever, then get some of that too. That way you won't be going viral for going off on somebody in a McDonald's over a cheeseburger. All right. the next thing that's on my mind, I want to talk about this Hollywood strike. I don't know if you've seen this in the news, on social media, whatever, but a few weeks ago, the writers for TV shows, movies, things of that nature, they went on strike. And a couple of weeks later, which I believe is last week, all the actors went on strike. So the writers are on strike, the actors are on strike, and they're out and they're trying to make their case known to the American public of we're not all rich, and a lot of us are just like you, just, struggling to make ends meet, and the rich portion of actors and writers and does not really make up for the sum total. And as they're making their case, I already know how this is going to go. We all know how this is going to go. The writers and the actors are not just trying to appeal to their bosses. They have to appeal to the American public, because, see, essentially, let me put it this way. I've noticed there's been a rise of strikes, and this is statistically proven that since the pandemic, workers have been striking at a more frequent rate. In 2022, worker strikes went up by 52%. 52%. Now, any statistics I give you, feel free to look up, because there's so many people that just throw statistics out there that aren't verified. But yeah, so workers going on strike for better pay, better treatment, those things, they've gone up since the pandemic, because I believe the pandemic was able to really show workers their value, and that the people at the top that are doing the least amount of work are getting the most money and benefit from the people that are actually doing the work. Think about how many people you've seen go on strike. Nurses have gone on strike. Teachers have gone on strike. Truck drivers have gone on strike. Postal workers have gone on strike. Actors, writers, strikes, factory workers, UPS workers, Amazon workers. All of these workers are going on strike because we see the value of what we do. And we can't unsee that you are doing the work while the majority of the benefit of that work is going to the top and not appropriately being spread out through the people that are actually doing the work. Here's the problem. The people at the top don't need to really say or do anything, because all of us workers start fighting each other. When the teachers were asking for a raise, then there was other people like, well, if they get a raise, then what about me? When the fast food workers were trying to go on strike for better pay, it wasn't the people at the top that were throwing shade at it. It was the rest of us. The rest of us were like, well, I don't know why they would get paid so much. They ought to go to college. You see what I mean? Like, we can't get ahead because we keep pulling each other down. It is the proverbial crabs in a barrel. Anytime workers start to ask for more rights, there's always other workers that are like, y'all can't do that. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't get more. If we ever band together, if we ever truly support one another in these strikes, we could make such a difference. How is it that minimum wage hadn't changed since I was in high school? Because when you start talking about raising minimum wage, there's always going to be other workers that come against it. So the people that are benefiting the most from our work don't even have to fight those battles, because we too busy pulling each other else down. $7.25. $7.25. That's what minimum wage stayed for, over 20 years or something like that. Because every time the conversation came up, it didn't really matter, Democrat, Republican, whatever. The workers would start to pull each other down. So, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do the same thing with the actor strike and the writer strike. People going to go on social media and be like, they rich, they don't need it. Keep that in mind, because the strike is going to be coming your way. And when people don't understand why you're asking for more, don't say anything, because this is what we do to one another. We keep each other from benefiting from what we should benefit from, rather than hold the people accountable that we do need to hold accountable. So y'all, let's support one another. Let's support one another with these strikes, because there'll be more coming. And if we support one another, we can actually get more from those strikes, and the worker rights can improve. And that's really what we want. Thank you. Got to move on to the next. Thank you, Malik, for keeping me on point. All right. What's coming up next? All right. Now, some of y'all are going to be like, why is he even mentioning this? But it's what's on my mind. Shout out to the anime community. I feel like I'm a OG of the anime community. Because when I was in college and seminary, we watched anime before it was popular. It was on Cartoon Network Toonami, and it didn't even start. Now some of y'all know what I'm talking about. It didn't even start to midnight, and most of the real anime back then only was on the weekends too. So you had to wait till midnight, and you had to wait till like Fridays. So in one episode of Dragon Ball Z will come out per week. Can you imagine that? Because you know how long it takes to get through one fight sequence in Dragon Ball Z. So you'd have to wait a whole nother week to see what Goku and Gohan and then we're going to do. But it was cool. It was a growing community. And then Inuyasha came out, and Inuyasha with Kagome and all that. So it was cool. It was a smaller community, but anime right now has just exploded. It's its own community. And like there's a picture of some anime on the screen right now, Roy. Right now, right, Roy? What's the name of the anime that's on the screen? My Hero Academia. It's called what? My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia. Never heard of it. I've never seen it. But I still feel like I'm a part of the community because I was on the beginning phases of it. So I just want to say to the anime community, it's great to really see how much it has grown, how diverse it is, because it used to just look a certain way. And it used to have a smaller pool of anime for us to choose from. There's some channels that they just specialize in anime. Is it Crunchyroll? Crunchyroll. So yeah, all those things didn't exist. So even though I'm kind of out of touch with what anime is now, I still feel like I'm a part of the anime community because I was in it before it really exploded. So shout out to the anime community, and I hope, because I don't know all of the new anime now, that you still accept me into that community. Am I still accepted into that community even though I don't know all of the new stuff? Roy, is that? Roy said no, but I'm gonna go ahead and say yes. Yeah, because I'm an OG though. You know what I'm saying? I was in it before it was cool, so I figured that stamps my OG card, right? All right. He said it, they not letting me in. And also shout out to Stacey Reeves, because you're the person that put me up on anime. So I don't know how in anime you are now, but shout out to you, and thank you for introducing me to anime, even though apparently I'm not a part of the community either. But let me know, am I still part of the anime community, even though my anime references are Dragon Ball Z and Inuyasha, and that's about it. I'm gonna be honest, that's about it. But I still feel like that's enough to be in the community. But even though you say not so much. All right. Okay, so y'all let me know. On to the next one. So those are the things that's on my mind. Now we got a little sports talk, and I'm ready for this. And I believe that, come on in. Come on in. So you don't be hesitant. So
you're not gonna give me an introduction or nothing.
I'm gonna introduce him when you sit down. This is Malik. He and I, we have our sports debates, and so what are we debating on now?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna start up by saying it's showtime. It's showtime. It's showtime. So today we're going to be talking about who is the greatest Laker of all time between Kobe Bryant and Magic Johnson.
All right, so we're going back to the Lake Show.
Showtime.
All right, cool. Now, was that Magic Johnson? That was his?
Yep. Showtime Lakers. Yeah.
Yeah, that was his thing, right?
That was.
Okay, all right. So the question is, who's better, Kobe?
Who's the greatest Laker?
Who's the greatest Laker? Got it. Who's the greatest Laker? Kobe Bryant or
Magic Johnson?
All right, now I say it's Kobe. hands down.
Hands down.
And you say
Magic Johnson, hands down.
all right, okay. Well, would you like to give your
Absolutely.
opening argument?
So first of all, even when you do look at statistics, I will say that the only statistic that Kobe Bryant has over Magic is points. And but when it comes to assists, blocks, Magic Johnson, and then even when it comes to Finals MVPs, so like Kobe has only won 2 Finals MVPs compared to Magic's 3, and then 2, Magic Johnson has done something that no other NBA player has done. Do you know what that is?
I have no idea. I mean, you want to get at now? You want to hold that? You let the whole clip go. I ain't go. What is it?
Hey, so how many rookies do you know get drafted number 1 overall to a team, and they lead their team to a championship and win Finals MVP as a rookie?
How many All-Stars did they have on that team?
As a rookie.
Already. When he got on that team as a rookie, how many All-Stars did they have?
How many All-Stars?
It was more than one.
Yeah, it was more than one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was more than one. So it's not like he came into a team full of scrubs and overperformed. He came into a team full of All-Stars and performed. So I'm not taking that away from Magic, because that's still a incredible feat to come in as a rookie and
win Finals MVP over all these All-Stars
and perform that well. You can't take that from him. Just because Kobe is greater than him does not mean he's not great. So I'm not trying to make the argument whatsoever that Magic Johnson is not a all-time great player. He's just not better than Kobe. So this is really what it boils down to for me.
All right, go ahead and tell me.
All right. So you've already cut across the field on me that Kobe was a better scorer. We already know this.
We already know that.
Yeah, because Kobe Bryant scored 33,643 points to Magic Johnson's 17,707 points.
But there's also know the seasons though, because Kobe did play 7 additional seasons.
But do you know why Magic could be so prolific and not have to score that much? Because he played with so many All-Stars. When you play with that many All-Stars, you don't have to score to that degree. Kobe Bryant, I'm not saying Kobe Bryant didn't play with All-Stars. I'm not saying he didn't.
Hold on.
I'm not saying he didn't.
So you're saying Kobe's team wasn't stacked as well with All-Stars?
What stacked team did he have? He had Shaq. I ain't gonna give you that. But once you move past Shaq, who's the other All-Star? Derek Fisher?
Derek Fisher was nice with the jumper.
Was he an All-Star? Okay. Magic played with All-Stars, not good players. Also, okay, so not only that, but we'll move past the fact.
But besides Kareem,
we'll move past the fact that he had a better scoring career with more total points and higher point per game average, because of course
he never passed the ball. But that's
I mean, you know what I'm saying? that neither here nor there. You know, that's neither here nor there. But here's where I hang my hat. Here's where I hang my hat. Both of them in their career were voted all NBA offense. All NBA players. Kobe had 15. You know how many Magic had?
For all NBA what?
All NBA team. Kobe had 15. Magic had 10. Now, even more than that, Kobe had all defensive team selections.
Okay.
Do you know how many he had? All defensive team selections? 10.
Oh, 10.
Do you know how many Magic had
0.
of all defensive team selections?
0.
Yeah, no. Say it louder than the mic. Don't get low. Don't get low now. 0. Now, do you know what that means? Kobe balled out on both sides of the court.
Okay.
To the point where he was one of the best every year.
Okay.
10 times, where Magic never was, which makes Kobe a better all-around player. Okay. So Magic, he did well, great, and all that kind of stuff. But the thing about basketball is you got to be able to play on both sides of the court. And if you're prolific only on offense, but you're a liability on defense, you can't tell me you better than somebody that was prolific on both sides.
Well I actually have a question for you then.
So
maybe you can clear something up for me. And so, like you said, Kobe was doing this thing on defense. But are you familiar with the top 75? NBA. How they have like the top.
It came
75?
out last year, right?
Right.
In 2022. Yeah.
Exactly. So can you explain to me, why Kobe was ranked number 10 and Magic Johnson was ranked number 4, despite how good Kobe played defense?
Oh yeah, I can explain that very easily. Somebody was wrong. That's very easy, and people are wrong all the time, just like you're wrong right now. So but that, I mean, point taken. But somebody that was prolific on both ends of the court can't be considered less than somebody that was only prolific on one end of the court.
Okay.
So at least not to be the greatest person to ever don a jersey of that particular team.
Well, let me ask you something else. So you gave me, some really good analytics as far as what Kobe did when he was in a Lakers uniform. But can you give me some analytics on some stuff he did after he wasn't in a Lakers uniform?
Well, he only played for one team.
Right. So did Magic. But even after Magic Johnson retired, hung up his jersey, he came back on the, as the president of operations for the Lakers. And which led to them getting the best player in the world at the time, LeBron James, which led to them getting another championship. And so even after he retired his jersey, he still came back to the Lakers organization and contributed to them winning another championship in some way, shape, or form.
Now, see, this is how I know I got you. Because what are we discussing? Who's the greatest player?
No, Laker.
Yeah, Laker.
Greatest Laker.
Yeah. The greatest player though. We talking about the play. Oh, well, I mean, if we go off the court,
everything. Who's the greatest Laker? Everything.
Didn't Kobe win like a Grammy or Emmy or something like that for the work that he started to do? And we both know he didn't. He was just warming up. If we talking about off the court, so off the court, he had like a #1 best-selling book. He had an Emmy for something he created. I can't remember if it was if it was a cartoon or a documentary or something like that. Like he was beginning to be prolific off the court as well.
And so was Magic Johnson, because Magic Johnson owns movie theaters, part owner of LA Dodgers.
Yeah, but he had more time. That's all I'm saying.
It's just business, Kobe.
No,
all the business.
No, what I'm saying is, once Kobe retired, he died shortly after.
Yeah.
So I can't really do a fair comparison there.
I got you. I respect that.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Well, so hold on. What? So who's the best?
Magic.
All right. All right. Cool. All right. Well, that's what's on my mind. That's our sports take. And next, what's on my heart? All right. So next, what's on my heart? I want to give a shout out to my son Calvin. A lot of nights, my son, he asked me, he say, "Dad, you want to run one?" Or I ask him, "Yo, you want to run one?" That's our way of saying, do you want to play any video games tonight? I love playing video games with my son Calvin. He's 9 years old, and playing with him, I get a chance to, we talk because I'm on my controller talking into the microphone. He's talking, so we get to talk and we get to plan and strategize together. Most of the time, what we play together is this game called Fortnite. And it gives me a chance to talk with my son and really see his personality and things of that nature. Because, like, he's incredible on this game. And I know he's like, well, you're a parent. Parents always think the kids are incredible. But no. He's incredible at this game. We'll be in the process of playing the game, and he'll say, "Oh, there's some enemies over there," and I'm like, "Where?" He's seeing people from way across like a field and a mountain, and he's like shooting at them, and they're like a speck, and I'm like, "How is he doing this?" So, we have a good time playing. You can pull up how many kills you have in a particular round. He'll have like 16, 17 kills. Our teammates, because we play on squads, which means 4 people on the team. Our other 2 teammates, they'll have like 6 kills, 4 kills, and he'll be like, "Daddy, how many do you have?" And I'll be like, I got one because he's carrying me. He's much better than I am. I barely contribute to the team. I used to be good at video games, but it's passed me by. I got to go ahead and admit that. Roy, the day is coming. I don't know if it's come for you yet, but that the young people just surpass you. Malik, I don't know if it's come for you yet, but the young people just surpass you. But the cool thing is he have 16, 17 kills. Other teammates have 4 or 5 or whatever. I have 1. When he asks how many I have, I'll say I have 1. He'll be like, "Oh, that's so cool, Dad. You're doing good." I'm like, "Yeah, thank you." But it also gives me a chance to see that my son is also an encourager, because I know 1 versus 16 is not good, but he wants to encourage his dad. So I just really enjoy that time that I get to spend with my son and doing something that I enjoyed growing up as a kid, and now I get to actually do it with my son. So just shout out to all of the parents out there that trying to do the best you can to raise your children. Those opportunities that you have to do something fun with them that both of you can enjoy, try to take the time to do that. And even if you're kind of bad at it like I am, it'll give your kid, just like Calvin. He encourages me despite me struggling. So he encourages me and say, "All right, Dad, that's fine. You're doing a good job." So shout out to you, Calvin. Thank you for being such a great son, and thank you for, even when I'm not doing well in the video game, you still like to be my teammate. All right, now I want to talk about what's in my soul. On last week, I celebrated 7 years of being pastor at Lewis Chapel Missionary Baptist Church. I mentioned this in the last podcast about how much journey means to me. I'm very big on journey, and I just wanted to take a moment to just thank Lewis Chapel again. When I became pastor of Lewis Chapel, I was 36 years old. I was taking over for my mentor, Reverend Dr. John D. Fuller Sr. A lot of time, he was at the church for 42 years, and a lot of times when you take over leadership, pastoral leadership for a pastor that's been at a church for a long time, it does not go well, because the membership are used to his voice and his leadership style and the way he does things. But Lewis Chapel was a church that they've always been warm, loving, embracing. I'm not saying this just because you're my church or I need to kiss up or anything like that. I'm saying it because it's true. At Lewis Chapel, it is. You gave me grace. You worked with me. You embraced me. You embraced my family. When the new things I wanted to do came up and I presented to the congregation, y'all were excited with me. You understood that I was trying my best to follow the vision that God has given me. And those times that things did not perhaps work out as great or whatever, although God has blessed me to have a lot of success with the things he laid on my heart, those few times things where it got a little not so smooth with it, you didn't crucify me. You didn't vilify me. You gave me mercy. You gave me grace. And since I've been pastor for these 7 years, we had over 1,000 people join the church. The church has grown significantly. We've been able to do renovations. We've been able to implement a lot of ministries and a lot of outreach and just help a lot of people and reach a lot of people. So thank you, Lewis Chapel, from the bottom of my heart. And to all of the other pastors out there, I pray that you have congregations like Lewis Chapel, because it's just an incredible group of people. So thank you, Lewis Chapel, for how you love me, and thank you for how you love on my family as well. So on behalf of Savannah, myself, CJ, Calvin, Celia, and Lanaya, it still tripped me out that I got twin daughters. It tripped me out. I still got daughters. But on behalf of all of us, thank you so much for being such a great church. All right. Before I leave you, the prayer list. When I saw this, I was like, this can't be right. Roy, put the picture up. Here's a picture. Thank you, Roy. Here's a picture of a man and a raccoon. Are there any words in that, or is it just a man and a raccoon? It's a man and a raccoon. Okay, so let me give you the context. Here's the headline. Because once again, it's a Florida man headline. And we all know Florida man headline can get wild and crazy. So here's the headline. Florida man sets raccoon on fire, for stealing his mangoes. I'm going to say that again. Florida man accused of setting a raccoon on fire because it was stealing his mangoes. There's pictures. I mean, there's not only pictures, but there's video of the man coming out of the courthouse because apparently the neighborhood he lives in, he was trying to grow some mangoes, and there's a raccoon that was coming to eat the mangoes. So the man set up a trap and attempted to set the raccoon on fire when one of the neighbors saw what he was doing and called the police. The man was arrested. He's out on $2,000 bond, and his story was he was just trying to get rid of a pest that kept on eating his mangoes. Brother, there's better ways to try to get rid of raccoons than to catch them and try to set them on fire. See, back to what I was saying. People need counseling, y'all. People need Jesus, and people need counseling. That, unless you want to go viral. So I don't know why these mangoes were so important to you that you would try to set a living creature on fire. I don't know what's going on with you and your household and whatever other pressures you have, but brother, there's better ways to handle pests than to try to trap them and set them on fire. So you see that picture? Y'all see that picture? How old, I like to do a guessing game of how old you think person is. So Malik, Roy, how old do you think he is? And I want y'all to guess how old you think he is as well. How old do you think this man who's accused of trying to set a raccoon on fire because the raccoon was stealing his mangoes, how old do you think he is? 60s. All right, we got 60s. We got, but instead of saying 60, give me an exact age. 63. Okay.
Well, see, if I didn't already know the damn story and I never seen a photo of him, I always say for somebody to do something like that, maybe 32.
Okay. But looking at the picture, how old?
If actually looking at it, I would say 64.
All right, so you say 62, you say 64. The man is 88 years old. He ought to, 2 years away from being 90. He's 2 years away from being 90, so it's kind of impressive he can even catch a raccoon at this point. So, but brother, get it together. All the way from Fayetteville, North Carolina. This is Pastor Stack Podcast, and from here, we're going to put you on the prayer list. We're praying for you, brother. Get your life together.
He was out there on this walker trying to...
Yeah, now you got to walk in a cane, catch a raccoon. I told you, it's kind of impressive when you think about it. But, okay, thank you for being a part of another episode of Pastor Stack Podcast. We'll see you next go-around. Be safe, be blessed, be good to one another. Take it easy.